The prosecutors in Young Thug's trial have no idea what they're even doing, as the beginning of trial started with the state confirming that they will be calling Walter Murphy, aka DK, an alleged co-founder of YSL, to testify about an armed robbery. DK was the first co-defendant to take a plea deal in December 2022. It's important to note Thug's lawyer says he interviewed DK, and he claimed to not know anything about what the state says he will testify about.
Mr. Murphy never says that Mr. Williams is involved in this armed robbery. He never said. What he says was, "I've done all this work for Thug." He carried bags for Jeffrey Williams while on tour. These two people grew up together. He said nothing about a crime.
Is Mr. Murphy testifying at trial?
Yes. Well, I've interviewed him.
The state is accusing DK of committing an armed robbery on Young Thug's behalf. However, DK stated he has no idea what they're even talking about. This seems to be a trend that the prosecutors are messing up details and just seeming like they don't know what they're doing. As even Meek Mill would say, Jeff is gonna beat this case, it is too messy, as these prosecutors are extremely unprofessional. As it would also be reported, Young Thug's lawyer is fed up with the state interrupting him every 5 seconds. He told the judge he's ready to start being petty during trial and start doing the same thing back to them.
So, I sit here, I don't interrupt Miss Love at all. And if this is the way, Your Honor, and I need to bring this up to the court, if we are going to be doing opening statements with interruptions, cross-examination with interruptions, I am going to ask the court to admonish and take action against Ms. Love, because I sat here for a year, it feels like, being interrupted on every quality, proper statement, and all the objections are the same. Asked and answered, vague,
Your Honor, I'm
not,
going
excuse
to object.
me, Ms. Love.
Let me finish, man.
You have to.
And I'm going to object to being spoken to by Mr. Steele
I'm
in a
speaking
condescending
with the court.
manner on the record.
I'm speaking with the court.
Let him finish, and then I'll let you respond, okay?
Thank you, Your
Let
Honor.
him finish. All right.
And if we're going to sit here during opening statements that I'm telling the court, and I don't want to do this, I am going to object to everything that I believe there is a good faith basis.
Even further proving on how bad these prosecutors truly are, the judge would even end up screaming at them as the prosecutors were trying to sneak in hundreds of witnesses to go against Young Thug, which is highly illegal as they didn't even want to share the names of these witnesses.
Your Honor, we would ask, because we would ask that all of this be reserved for the 16th, because this all came up in September. You said you allowed us to.
I am really annoyed about this, Ms. Hilton. I just am. This is ridiculous. Your witness list has grown by 2/3 since then. And I don't know why. You better have a dang good explanation on the 16th, because if you don't, I'm going to exclude it. Okay. But right now, I'm telling you, without anything further, it's gone.
Well, we would like to
Exclude a lot more on that date, because this is ridiculous. There is no plausible explanation I've gotten and that would suffice, that we just kind of keep, you keep dripping and driving out evidence.
According to the judge, the prosecutors were trying to sneak in 200 witnesses to come to trial and share crimes that Jeffrey, aka Young Thug, committed, all while not sharing the names of the witnesses or even what crimes they witnessed. All of this confusion and unprofessionalism is even why Young Thug's girlfriend, Mariah the Scientist, hinted towards Young Thug's release soon, as she would speak about marrying Thug once he's out of jail.
Do you think that marriage is the next step for you, Young Thug?
I mean, when he gets out of jail?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think either of us want a jail wedding. Yeah, but I feel like he definitely wants to be married, and I feel like I do too.
Do you ever imagine life outside once he's out?
For sure. We talk about it all day. Okay. All day long. I mean, I feel like being imaginative can help every human being on earth not lose your mind. Mm-hmm. It is like a little slight state of delusion.
As Young Thug's girlfriend as well as his family are not even concerned about the upcoming trial due to Young Thug having one of the greatest lawyers in the United States. However, one of Young Thug's own actions could be a main reason why he looks even more guilty in his RICO case, as the prosecutors built a solid foundation on why they should be able to use Young Thug's rap lyrics lyrics against him in his trial, where sadly the judge would agree. As DJ Akademiks would report, Judge in Young Thug case allows the use of 17 different lyrics against him and co-defendants.
Is going to admit for the limited purpose thus far, the state's request to apply the evidence statute as written. I'm going to conditionally admit particularized lyrics, and those lyrics are found within states 18. There's 17 sets of lyrics. I'll conditionally admit those pending lyrics, depending upon or subject to a foundation that is properly laid.
As the first set of Young Thug lyrics is in a song titled You, where Young Thug raps the lyrics, honestly, truth be told, YSL won't fold. Pick 'em off from the balcony, YSL wipe a nose. Now this relates to a crime where a court file suggests that YSL members targeted an op while he was outside on his balcony, as allegedly 4 YSL members sitting in a stakeout vehicle outside of an apartment would wait several hours before an op finally got to his balcony, as once he did, you could probably guess what happened then. The next set of Young Thug lyrics is in his track titled Bad Boy featuring Juice WRLD, where Young Thug raps the lyrics, I went at his mommy, now he no longer mentions me, as during the famous Young Thug vs YFN Lucci beef years ago, things escalated extremely fast. However, Thug wanted to put a quick end to the beef, so he did it by targeting Lucci's mother, as evidence would show in police files that several YSL members used firearms towards Lucci's mother's house.
Well, he's featured on the song, so the song is actually by an artist that goes by the name of Juice WRLD, and it's featuring Mr. Williams. The song is called Bad Boy, and Mr. Williams says, I shot at his mommy, now he no longer mentioned me. Now this would seem again insignificant if you're just looking at these words. However, in this case, in the height of the 2050 between the YSL gang and the IF, we have cases in which individuals of YSL the opposition's mother's house. Mr. Rayshawn Bennett, also known as YFN Lucci. We have 2 incidents in January 22 of 2015 and January 26 of 2015, where his mother's home, Mr. Bennett's mother's home,
the next set of lyrics are my favorite. Read out loud in the courtroom to the judge was the Young Thug lyrics, my boys really be slime and we committing them crimes. Hop out and hit, you wanna be slime? Go catch you a body. As these are the lyrics from Young Thug's hit song titled Really Be Slime. Funny enough, featuring YW Melly, who is facing his own court case right now, where he allegedly is responsible for his 2 best friends passing. Now prosecutors allege those lyrics relate to the recruitment process of joining Young Thug's street team YSL, where you have to commit a very serious crime in order to join, as currently those rap lyrics is a majority of the evidence the prosecutors have, as Young Thug's lawyers are now making the chance of his release extremely high. To understand his release date and when, we need to dive deep into what Thug's lawyer just did. As it was originally announced, Young Thug's lawyer files a motion to redact/remove any mention in the indictment of the 9 co-defendants who took guilty pleas. He argues that the fact co-defendants pleading guilty cannot be used as evidence against Thug or others on the trial. A part of some of the YSL members that took plea deals' contract is they have to take the stand during trial to tell the jury what crimes Thug was a part of. However, a motion was just granted this week as it was announced. They will also redact overt acts in the indictment committed by people who are no longer part of the trial, a total of 22 people, as Young Thug would then even give a thumbs up during the motion grant, as now the YSL members cannot talk to the jury during trial. Why this is so important is because of Young Thug's co-defendant and right-hand man Durante Bibi, aka B, who just pled guilty to his RICO charges against him, along with participation in criminal street activity, theft by receiving stolen property, violation of Georgia's Controlled Substance Act, armed robbery, hijacking of a motor vehicle, and firearm charges.
And you give this guilty plea freely and voluntarily, means your own decision to enter a plea this afternoon? Yes. Okay, all right. And sir, then I find that based upon the responses that you've given and the colloquy in this case and the court's questioning of you, that your pleas are freely and voluntarily entered. I find a factual basis. I'm going to go ahead and accept your pleas as tendered and negotiate, sentence you to the as indicated. You're 23 years old. You've had enough trial in your life at this point in time. Would you agree? Yes. Time to have a little testimony. Time to reclaim your own life, and that you can do in this case, or if you just separate yourself from the people that you've been hanging out with. Find some new friends, find some new people that are going to be positive in your life, and if they don't add to your life, then you need to cut them loose.
BB was sentenced to 5 years in prison along with 10 years of probation following his release, as B is the 9th co-defendant to strike a plea deal to avoid his trial. With B taking a plea deal, admitting guilt of committing all of these crimes, it shows the jury that Young Thug was likely involved as well, as when you also mix in Gunna snitching to BB's, it's pretty obvious that Young Thug was likely involved in some sort of crime, as Gunna would even snitch, saying yes ma'am to several crimes that YSL committed.
Not you agree or acknowledge that statements are true, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped a vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocarbons and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL to the detriment of my community. YSL again. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
However, weirdly enough, Thug's father would also just do a recent interview where he would reveal that it's all love with Gunna, as many seem as if this is just an act, so then the judge will think that Young Thug will not want any revenge against Gunna if he gets an early release.
Courtney said, how do you feel about Gunna?
I love Gunna.
See, that's the thing. People don't understand the relationship. They got this thing saying that Gunna is a rat and he's done this and done that.
But see, let me try to help the attorney clarify that a little simpler.
Okay.
Gunna hasn't done anything whatsoever that can hurt us on this case. Period.